All right, welcome back, Truth Seeker. Want to show you the sick joke with the Antonio Brown rape story coming out September 10th. I did an earlier decode on this. If you missed that video, I'll link it. It'll show up in the top corner. Should be the left corner of your screen at the end of the video. You can just click it and watch it. But rather than be redundant, I realized something else about this story. It's coming out September 10th, 2019, and the Super Bowl this year. Antonio Brown's an NFL football player, if you don't know. The Super Bowl is what ends the NFL season, the big championship game. But from the story to the Super Bowl, which is February 2nd, 2020, these dates are 146 days apart. 146. And in this language of letters and numbers, which news and sports are scripted together by, rape equals 146 in what's considered the most important cipher outside of the base ciphers. And consider he raped a woman. So in this code, using the most simple cipher there is, just the alphabetic order, A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, up to Z is 26, vagina sums to 54, right? And what this reminds me of is the story out of Virginia, not far off from vagina, earlier this year. Story out of Virginia about Justiin Fairfax, the lieutenant governor, raping a woman back when he was a student at Duke. And that news story came out the day between the Virginia-Duke basketball game with Zion Williamson. And I told my followers that day on Patreon, put in a future for Virginia or Duke to win the college championship, March Madness this year. It's going to be one of those two teams. And by the time the tournament bracket was given out, we had figured out that Virginia was likely the team to win. It might be Virginia over Duke in the championship. And of course, Virginia did end up winning. Duke got eliminated before they could make it there. But what I'm going to go back and show you is how these stories are coded propaganda synced up with the world of sports. They do it in college and pro every single year. And for people who followed me for years, they've seen how many things I've called right doing this, including Virginia winning the championship this year. And I'm going to show you just how scripted it is. It's going to blow your mind. Again, they use technology in sports to ensure outcomes. Just watch this. So, the name Justiin Fairfax sums to 85, just like basketball. Virginia ended up winning the championship with 85 points, okay? Big basketball number. Boston equals 85. Boston leads the NBA in basketball championships. Boston's 22. Also, just like basketball, Boston and basketball 22 and 85. This was a story about rape connected to basketball, rape 22. This year, the Super Bowl's on what day? 2-2, February 2nd, 2-2. This story about Justiin Fairfax raping a woman while at Duke the day before the Duke-Virginia game was February 8th, 2019, a date with 22 numerology. And I showed how from the date of the story to the start of March Madness was 39 days, just like how he was 39 years old. Blue Devils was 39. The next day, the Blue Devils beat Virginia in the regular season. Duke Blue Devils is also 82. The story came out on February 8th, 82. So, again, for those of you who follow my work, this is why, you want to make smart picks. You might have saw this the day of and thought this was Lock City for Duke. But we knew it could be Duke or Virginia. I was leaning Duke at first, but by the time the tournament came around, we knew it was Virginia, and I'll get to why. Also, from the date of the story to the date of the championship, where Virginia won, was 59 days. Justiin Fairfax, 59. The words slave, Negro, blues, all 59. This year was the conclusion of the 400-year prophecy from the Bible. And not saying that the Bible story is directly connected to the United States of America. I'm not doing the Joseph Smith take on this. I'm just saying that the people who run this nation, they use biblical riddles. This year, August 2019, was 400 years of slaves being in America. And in the Bible, there's a prophecy about slaves for 400 years in a foreign land, the year their mistreatment ends. Well, so far it doesn't look like it's ending. But no doubt they laid down all of the divisive propaganda in Virginia this year in February, Black History Month, and dropped riddles such as this. Understand, it's all synced up. ESPN called this year's NFL season the year of the black quarterback, and not by accident. All of this stuff's connected. But from the date of the rape story, Justiin Fairfax raping the woman at Duke to the championship was 59 days. His name, Justiin Fairfax, is 59. Look at the box score of this game. And we've done this year after year. This is not a coincidence. This is how they do it. That's Texas Tech. Virginia had 59 shots and scored 85 points. Again, this is why you learn the 4 base ciphers. You learn these base ciphers because they're all important. Justiin Fairfax is 59 in the most pure cipher, 85 with the reverse alphabetic order, like basketball's 85. The year March Madness tournament began was 85 and not by accident. Freemasonry's 158. Get at all these numbers. 193 is the 44th prime. There's a reason Obama was number 44. African Americans 44, etc. So anyway, there was so much synced up. But Tony Bennett, the coach of Virginia, the reason we knew that he would win the tournament is because we said, watch, months in advance, we said, watch if Tony Bennett finishes this season on 89 losses. Because Virginia equals 89, Virginia Cavaliers equals 89. Don't I have it all up here? Oh, it's right here. Well, I guess I didn't write out Virginia as well, but look, I'll just show you. Virginia with the alphabetic order, 89. Virginia Cavaliers with the alphabetic order and rules of numerology, 89. And they played the Texas Tech Red Raiders, 89. So anyway, again and again, syncing up the same stuff. Rape, 68. Basketball, 68. I pointed out in the last video that Antonio Brown just signed with the Patriots. And he signed with them 68 weeks after the alleged rape date, May 20th, 2018. Exactly 68 weeks later, he signs with the Patriots, rape 68. You know, the rape was on a date with 63 numerology. Brown equals 63. The story comes out on the 63rd day of his age. Again, shaming brown people, if you will. You know, he's 31 years old right now. The news comes out on a date with 31 numerology, sexual assault 31, rapist in football. We've talked about this over the years. You know, how often do they do the same thing with football players? Raped a woman, beat a woman, assaulted a person, sold drugs. It's like the same thing over and over. And it's the same thing news media program for years. You know, same thing movies and TV program. You know, all black dudes are all hood-like and drug dealers and rapists and murderers. You know, that's what the media is programmed. And then the NFL is just another layer of programming. That's why they call it back to your regularly scheduled program. That's why they say you couldn't have scripted it any better. The world's a stage. The football field's a big part of it. And notice below, they blame it on a former, or they don't blame it, they say a former trainer is blaming him of rape, accusing him of rape. Former trainer 79, rapist 79, rapist football 83, former trainer 83, rapist football 43, former trainer 191, that's the 43rd prime number. Yeah. You think this is an accident? Rape, vagina, the story 146 days from Super Bowl 54, another sick, perverted riddle that has to do with rape that's synced up with the championship game. So anyway, if you appreciate this video, really, help this movement. Go sign up for the Patreon, learn what I teach every day. If you enjoy my content, you know, I'm on Patreon hours every single day. It's exhausting, to be perfectly honest, but I'm trying to get this movement somewhere. And again, we get enough people, we can begin to hire people, we can take this to the next level. You know, not that we haven't already achieved levels never achieved before. But this stuff is sick. It is just sick. And my critics, the trolls, they're even more sick. You know. The trolls, man. If there was as much money dedicated to this cause as there is trolling me constantly, we'd be light years ahead. So, how many more years we got to call the championship, call out the exact numbers that end up being the score? You know, we did it the other year too. Gonzaga losing to North Carolina. We called it before the tournament began. We said it would be all about 71. And sure enough, 71 points scored in the winner. Gonzaga's 71. Gonzaga Bulldogs is 71. Catholic 71. Virginia has the 71 connection, so does March Madness. Virginia beat Duke the day after that rape story with 71 points. Notice this post is from, well, this information was put out there just at the beginning, just showing what they were doing, what they were coding. This was a March Madness ritual. Ritual equals 81. No. Virginia finished the season this year, by the way, when they won the championship, 35-3, 353 the 71st prime. March Madness, what they call it, 71. They use the same numbers year after year. You just got to see what teams they're fitting them in with. You know, you can do the math at the start of the tournament if Virginia wins the championship. Oh, they'll be 35-3, like 353, the 71st prime. Tony Bennett will stay on 89 losses, you know. And again, he does. To win the tournament, because that connects to Virginia and Virginia Cavaliers in Charlottesville. And then YouTube freezes your video at 89 views. Because they do that every year, because these people, I don't know what it is. Crazy computer algorithms that pick up on the language? Could be. So. It was Virginia's 114th season, getting it done in Minneapolis, Minnesota. You see how they do it? Year after year. Point is, this stuff is sick. It needs to be exposed. If you want to make a few bucks off it along the way, that's up to you. But really, support this movement so that the world can learn about this. Everyone should be in front of every NFL stadium this weekend, holding up a sign, learn about the Gematria rape joke for the Super Bowl and this year's past rigged college basketball championship. And for the person out there saying, well, how did Virginia's championship be rigged? Did you see the way some of those games ended? Yes, I did. And I have the same question, and I watch this stuff go on year after year, and I say, look up what magic is with a K at the end of the word, M-A-G-I-C-K. Sometimes I wonder, what is going on here? Is it harvesting? That's what the belief is, that they harvest this energy and they use it to achieve their agendas. They're getting so much energy from the world right now. People disgusted, outraged, provoked, feeling like we are like, are you kidding me? I mean, the story doesn't make any sense. Did you read this story, by the way, besides all the numbers? For years I used to just read stories like this, and I'm like, is anybody paying attention? This is obvious BS. The story is that he invited her over so they could watch TV together on the couch, because isn't that usually what, young 20-somethings do when they hang out, man and woman, alone on a night? Just sit together nicely on the couch and watch the TV together. So anyway, supposedly they were just going to do that together. But then he surprised her and came from behind her. What's the story? He jerked off on her back. Talk about saturating the world with porn, just putting this stuff out there in stories. Who does that? He just snuck up behind her and jerked off on her back. Really? Where is this happening in the world? And tell me an athlete who gets paid tens of millions of dollars a year has to go to these lengths to get women? Most halfway decent looking guys in the world don't have to go those lengths. You add $100 million to his bank account, I don't think he has too many problems like this. And then anyway, the story is she comes back a couple weeks later because he apologizes. Just for any guy out there who's ever been with any woman, can you imagine just you're sitting there on the couch, you run up from behind her, you jerk off on her back. Do you think if you apologize, she's going to come back over to your house to watch TV again? Seriously. And they just feed us crap like this in the news every single day. For years, see, that's for people who say, how did you get to decoding all this and stuff? It's because I used to just say to people, look at the news story. You really believe that? And they look back at me and they go, are you a conspiracy theorist? Or something dumb like that. And you're like, no, but I have a brain. Does that story make any sense to you? Well, if it wasn't true, I don't think they could report, something false. The only people who think things like this are people who are ignorant. You had George W. Bush 2 presidents ago come out and admit, yes, so what that we have a document that says we can contrive propaganda and put it out there every single day? So is every other president. Doesn't that just tell you what it all is? It's all propaganda and programming. Welcome back to your regularly scheduled programming. Did you enjoy the football game where through the first, 50 minutes, the teams had a combined, 9 points on the board? Now all of a sudden, and you thought you were just won the lottery because you had the under of 30, but now somehow in the final 3 minutes, 21 points just went up on the board. The announcer's like, holy smokes, what an ending. It's like, okay, are you guys doing this every week now? I mean, have we lost the attention span of everybody? Is it because everybody's like too busy on the phone? Oh, what happened? I was texting and now there's 21 more points on the board. It's like, I think that is what's going on at this day and age. They just know that everybody's like in their phone. They need something crazy to happen to re-secure the focus. Yeah. And these stories, I mean, the Antonio Brown story, is this not just like the most ridiculous thing ever? Somebody pointed out that the whole story about him freezing his feet, what do they call it, frostbite? They said that last year he was the cover athlete for Madden, and I guess the engine for the video game was like the revolutionary frostbite engine. So that's why I love that people follow this, because they tell me about those things. I'm like, yeah, that's got to be the riddle, of course. And then I'm sure he's just, all of a sudden this year, as a veteran in the NFL, this year he doesn't know what helmet to wear. I mean, does this even make sense? It's not like it's middle school where you just have to, deal with the old, smelly, musty selection. If you have big ears like mine, get your head wrecked. But, I mean, it's just so dumb. And then he's too much of a crybaby, and then he gets traded on Bill Belichick Day, and now there's a rape from May 20th, 2018. I mean, from the lady who came back over after he jerked off on her back. I mean, it's just... I just don't know what to say about it. Other than, well, God, I got to decode the news and show you just how scripted it is. And that's really exactly how it happened. I was just so determined to figure out and expose how they were creating this obvious BS with just nonsensical details. My, oh my. And I never knew how sick it would get. So, we'll leave it there, Truth Seeker. Till next time.